In New York now, you have two basketball teams. It was always Jersey. It's now legitimately Brooklyn. And
That's
you could
cool.
feel that there's been a shift, that there has been this embrace by the community, which is something the Nets really didn't
never
have.
had.
They
They
just
never
didn't
had.
have it.
None of us were, taking, getting out to the subway doesn't go to the Meadowlands, And there's another strange thing that Brooklyn itself hasn't had its own team since the Dodgers. And as a Branch Rickey fan, anybody who follows the story of Jackie Robinson and sees how important that was, the way that sports relate to the larger grand scheme of America and our, socio-political thing. Branch Rickey and the Brooklyn Dodgers were important. And Brooklyn hasn't had a team in a long time, and it's exciting. And so it's a good time to be a New Yorker.
Yep. Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's coming to this area. And there's been some controversy regarding a cold weather city.
We all see the Pro Bowl. I mean, you really want them to play in Hawaii I'm sick of all these games being in Arizona and also as if we're, football's meant to be a grit and grind sport. I want to see the Super Bowl in the snow. I want to see people diving to catch it. I mean, that'd be my dream. I've always felt I played football as a kid, and there's nothing more. The smell of autumn, the first snow, Thanksgiving, Christmas, playing football is really special.
Eli Manning.
Yeah.
A guy you followed throughout his career, and he's coming up behind his older brother. This combination of Peyton and Eli Manning in the NFL, I know you've been just impressed with the way they carry themselves, and then the fact that they deliver.
It's virtually unheard of. I mean, it's the stuff of legend. If you made it up, if you wrote a fiction book about, family, three brothers born to a quarterback, and they all go on to have these each unique person, and they're so different. I mean, that's the funny thing. So Cooper doesn't play football. We'll take him out. We'll set him in a different category. But what took my eye about Eli and why I started liking him is his rookie year. I became a fan. The way he thought about the game was so interesting, and the way he didn't try to be his brother. He's his own player. Yep. And he's succeeding on his own terms. And, that's so difficult for anybody to do. To find your own voice is hard, even if you don't have a famous brother. Now, obviously, there's a lot of perks that came with being a Manning, and there's a lot of things. But there's a lot of, downsides to that, too. And I think that he's been his own player. And they're two old school guys. They always say the right thing. They never say the small thing. If I were a coach, you can point to them. They play the right way.
For you, how do you keep your artistic stimulus going on a daily basis?
Apathy is the killer. I like to try to do different things. I do movies sometimes, and sometimes I do plays, and sometimes I try to write, and sometimes I try to stay curious so that it doesn't become old hat. This is the movie we're here talking about, The Purge, is a really cool genre movie. And I've done other movies, you do a cop movie, you do a romantic movie, you do different kinds of films. And I'm actually not a good enough actor to make each thing so great. And by that I mean, there's certain kind of actors, they're always a different person in this movie. They're a different person in that movie, and it's amazing. I've never quite had that shape-shifting skill, but one of the ways that I can push myself is to be in different kinds of films.
What turned you on to independent movies? What was the origin of that?
Whenever you're getting paid less, you're given the opportunity to be more creative. It's a rule of the universe. The more you get paid, they're paying you for something, and it's largely have to do with the fact that you're not having a good time. And so that's why in the theater's a ball. It's an absolute ball. You get in front of people, you make them laugh, you telling them stories, and it's all live. They don't pay you to do it. What's hard and very difficult, it's why I admire Denzel so much is on the main stage in the big game. He's been able to do to have fun. You feel him doing his all. It's not, some certain people get successful and they kind of do their trademark thing, because it's all feels prepackaged to me. It feels like it has a trademark sign next to it, and that for me that's death to the arts. That's no fun at all.
You have 4 kids.
Yeah.
Is sports a part of their life at all?
I'm trying to make my daughter care about my oldest is 14. And I give her these speeches about how if you do, the stats on women who play sports and are involved in sports don't allow themselves to be physically abused, their rate of alcohol abuse is lower. Their self-esteem is higher. I learned so much about teamwork and how to talk and communicate with people through playing sports, and I want her to have that. And she doesn't care, man. She does not care. I mean, she's starting to care now, like, hey, Dad, how did Carmelo do last night? But she only wants so she can impress some guy or, at the high school dance or something. She doesn't actually care. My son cares tremendously, and so that's...
If the right sports project came around, the right film, would it be something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, a small part of me died recently. My grandfather was a manager for the Abilene Blue Sox, a farm league for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and he was one of the handful of people Branch had, scouting for, when Branch knew he wanted to hire an African-American player, he had all these different people out there scouting for people, and the great pride of my grandfather's life that he was one of those scouts, and so I grew up in a household where Branch Rickey was, Yoda, Obi-Wan combined. I mean,
right.
He was everything. And I was hoping that the Branch Rickey story wouldn't be told until I was old enough to play Branch Rickey, but Harrison Ford beat me to the punch. So that was one of the stories I really, really wanted to tell. But I would love to do a sports movie. I want to play Brett Favre.
Maybe we could arrange that.
Yeah.
Ethan, thanks. Good
Thanks
luck
for
with
having
The
me.
Purge, and have a great 2013.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks, man. More Stars on Sports when we return.